everyone, and welcome to the first of one of my hopefully many Spellbound RimWorld series, titled Dryad Druids. In this series, I will be embracing the low-tech, medieval, tribal, magical, and enchanting side of RimWorld, mostly through the assistance of an obscene amount of mods. Please note that this first episode is going to mostly be explanation and game setup. If you're not interested in any of that, then maybe go on ahead and skip to episode 2. No worries. Now, I won't go through all of the mods I'm using, but I did want to mention the particularly magical ones. So of course, we first have a RimWorld of Magic. This mod adds magic and classes to the game. It is one of my all-time favorites. Apothecary. So if you do start to see some extra plants on the map that you've never seen before, it's probably from this mod. It gives us additional medicine that we can use to hopefully help us out, since we won't have access to anything above herbal medicine. RPG style level up mod. I've never actually used this one before, but it seemed to fit the theme I was going for. The Witcher Monster Hunt mod, which adds a variety of fantasy monster encounters. Of course, medieval times, but the unofficial update, thank goodness for this. This mod adds just like a ton of medieval era items, weapons, armor. It's gonna be the bread and butter of our playthrough. Rimcraft adds the fantasy races from World of Warcraft, along with the factions and animals. I am also using a lot of races from the Outpost 21 mods, and more monster girls. Don't judge me, they're adorable. I also added a few Warhammer races, including this Dryad race, which is going to be our starting colonists. And finally, Medieval Vanilla and Rimhammer the End Times, both of which should help to remove all technology past the medieval era for us. Plus, Rimhammer, I believe, comes with its own winning objective that we might go for if we get that far. I am also keeping the royalty DLC on, even though, unfortunately, the Empire doesn't actually spawn. I think because they are so heavily invested in higher technology, it is a shame. It'd be really cool if we could combine medieval playthroughs with this royalty mod. So if there are any modders out there who can make it work, that'd be really cool. But for the meantime, I'm just gonna keep it on and see if it influences our playthrough at all. But for the most part, I don't think it will. Also, a link to all of these mods I will be using is in the description of this video. A quick disclaimer, version 1.1 of RimWorld is still quite new, and I'm not entirely confident that my mod list will remain stable. They might end up not playing very nicely together. I did do a very few short test runs on my own, and the game didn't crash, and I got up to the first raid, so fingers crossed. If something terrible does happen, I do plan on trying to continue this Spellbound series, and I'll simply learn from my mistakes and remove the mod that's causing the problems. For example, I might just get rid of medieval altogether and still embrace magic, but also, deal with the technology that comes with it. I think that's it. Without further ado, let's get started. I'm gonna go straight to New Colony. The scenario that I made for this is based off of the Dryad start that comes with the Dryad race. So basically, you just get a bunch of Dryad research, stone cutting and tree sewing for some reason, and some bows, which is really nice. And you also start with these revenant bodies, which is kind of cool. I changed it a little bit so that we start with 3 people instead of just 1. I like starting with more than 1. I know 1 is more of a challenge and it's kind of fun, but 3 people, it's less lonely than 1. We're gonna go with Cassandra Classic, and I'm thinking medium. I'm not used to these new mods that I'm using, Rimhammer, this Dryad race in particular, so I'm not quite confident enough to start on Rough or Savage, but we will raise the difficulty over time. But for the beginning, I want to start on medium, just so I can get like my feet in the ground and figure out all these mods. reload anytime. I promise not to save scum, but this is so I don't crash. All right, seed is going to be flowers, because I think that's fitting. All right, so here's our world. It looks a little empty, I guess, compared to the other worlds that I've been playing on, I think because the factions are all different. So here we have gentle tribe, fierce tribe, savage tribe, an arcane fold, medieval society, and then yeah, a bunch of WoW, WoW factions. So no empire, I was right. No empire, so we won't be able to get any of those psychic abilities. They might be forbidden anyway from the medieval mods that I'm using. We might not even see them, but that's fine. That's not a problem. Now, when I think dryads, I think forests and rivers and like cute, really pretty aesthetic, like a glen, you know, like something hidden. And what I would love is to start in a rainforest because of that. So we don't actually have that many rainforests on this map, but here's a nice one. And it's by a purple ferret sea, which is adorable. I'm actually a little obsessed right now with the idea of starting on water, mainly because, again, I just think the nature is going to look really pretty with the dryads. And I also want to start with some sort of hillside, I guess, some hills or mountains, because with the RimWorld of Magic, we are going to want to be doing some bit of mining so we can get some unrefined magicite, and it would just be a lot easier to start with a hilly terrain of some kind. So I'm looking for hills and a river, and so one of these is going to be our best bet here. So this one has caves, don't like it. This one has caves, don't like it. This one has caves, don't like it. This one does not have caves, okay. Mountainous, it has a river, marble and granite. Sure, it's got a growing period of 50 out of 60 days, so it's not a permanent summer, but that's just 10 days out of the year that we might get a cold snap, you know? I like it. Let's do it. Okay, next. Okay, so I did use the mod Prepare Carefully to plan out our colonists. Okay, here are our starting colonists. 3 beautiful dryads, Lilica, Saffron, and Willow. Are you ready for their backstory? All right, so for a millennia, their peaceful dryad tribe remained hidden from the outside world, completely unknown to the rest of the Rim, where they practiced plant magic, herbalism, alchemy, aromatherapy, apparently. But then one day, the Fire Nation attacked. No, but seriously, a bunch of tribal raiders showed up and basically wiped out their entire home. So our 3 ladies here managed to escape the massacre, and now they've found a place on the Rim to make and call home. Yeah, I think I deserve a Pulitzer for that super creative backstory. So our first character here, Lilica, she is our only druid, despite the name of the series being called Dryad Druids, whatever. She practiced the traditional ways of the dryads back home and was actually on her way to becoming a high priestess. So she's really good with plants. She's very artistic. I read on the mod page that dryads work with art mostly. So she's very artsy. She's also quite medical, again, mostly from using plants, aromatherapy, sure. So she's kind of our doctor, our planter. She likes animals. I put a little passion in animals for her, and she's also quite okay at shooting. But that's mostly it. She's got a green thumb, and she's an animal lover. Next, we have Saffron. Saffron is our rough around the edges ranger. She's reclusive and doesn't trust others very easily. She is our survivalist, if you will, and she's used to like the rough and tumble lifestyle. So ranger is from the RimWorld of Magic. mod, so she's going to be working with bow and arrow, so I gave her some shooting skill, and also animals, so she'll be able to like tame animals a little easier, along with making a bond with animals, but we'll talk about that later. So she's similar to Lilica with her love of animals. She's also our builder. I gave her this builder trait because she is our survivalist, so she is used to construction and crafting. She likes to work with her hands. Okay, and next we have Willow. Willow is the youngest of our Dryads, and despite being a child prodigy, she is still quite naive to the world. She's book smart, I guess, as opposed to street smart, and she actually doesn't really remember too much of their days with their tribe, unfortunately. So she's not very good at shooting or melee or construction and mining. She instead more prefers to study and do a little bit of crafting. She does like to craft, so she's our researcher, crafter. She's also going to be our cook, but Lilica is also going to be our cook. They're both our cooks. But while Lilica is gardening, Willow can help out with the cooking. She's okay, you know, with plants and animals because she is a Dryad, but she doesn't really care too much, no passions in it. Same with artistic, although she does like to craft, she's not into the artsy side of crafting. And she's our medical lady as well because she's so smart. And I put a passion into social. She's a little good at social because she is beautiful. She is also magically gifted. So later on, she will find her own magic class. We'll see what it is. It might be random. We might get a magic tome from a quest or something. We'll see. But because she's so young, I didn't think it was thematic, I guess, to give her a class right away. And finally, I gave all of them the bisexual trait down here. Now, get your head out of the gutter. The only reason I gave them all bisexual was because it made sense to me thematically. You know, I didn't feel like it made sense for them to have to wait for some man to show up and they'd fall in love with him. They're Dryads. They are one with nature. They don't care about that sort of thing. So I just add that as a sort of like a thematic sort of roleplay, I guess. And if I can save a bed here and there, depending on who they fall in love with, then, you know, that's great. That's great for me. Okay, and then finally, I want to talk about their equipment that I'm starting them with. Now, I'm actually going to get rid of this short bow before I forget. Well, not 8 short bows. Remove equipment. And that's because whenever I started a test run of this clan here, they always started with random equipment anyway, so it didn't make any sense that they would start with an additional 3 short bows. So whatever. They start with the Revenant body. Now this is going to be like an animal or a pet that they have that we have to awaken, and this is just from the Dryad start scenario. 100 steel is pretty typical, I thought. Pemmican, herbal medicine, pretty typical starts. I also am giving them a steel knife, so they have an offhand that they can, you know, pull out if they need to. Hemp tribal wear. I didn't want them to be naked all the time if they were going to get a mood debuff for being naked, so I chose tribal wear because it's not very OP, and hemp just felt right, again, thematically. And then finally I gave them a pet Arctic fox. Now, does it make sense that an Arctic fox is in the rainforest with a bunch of Dryads? No. Do I care? Also no. I wanted to add wood to here, but I couldn't find it under resources. So let me see if while I'm recording it magically shows up, but I don't think it will. Hold on. Yeah, so there's like wood ashes, wood elf leather, a bunch of wooden things, but no wood. And here's the end of the list. So no actual wood. So if someone could like tell me where wood is, I'm under resources. I don't know if it would be under anything else. I mean, this is where steel was. It doesn't matter. I just, if someone knows where wood is, you can let me know. So we're not actually starting with any wood. We'll have to chop wood ourselves. I think that's all, though. let's get started. Okay, here we are. All right, moment of truth. Let's look at the map. Oh, it's pretty. I like it. Look, so there's this big river that goes right through the map and through the mountains here. That's really neat. And it doesn't actually cut the map in half like it sometimes does. It's kind of in thirds here, which is really nice. So we can just stay in this area quite happily and only come over here if we really need to. So that's really cool. I appreciate that. Oh, and this is fertile soil, or rich soil rather. So I'm thinking, yeah, this is a really good spot to set up camp. What do you guys think? We have like a little house up here. It should not be an ancient danger. I don't think an ancient danger would have a door anyway, but medieval shouldn't spawn with any ancient danger. So I wonder what's in there. Probably nothing. There's probably nothing in there. Okay, cool. All right, and we have a geyser right here by our fertile soil, which normally is really, really good because then you can use that heat to make like an indoor greenhouse, especially when it's around fertile soil like this. But because we're in the rainforest, I don't think we need a greenhouse. It might be nice though to have like a safety net though, especially since we will have 10 days out of the year where we might get a cold snap or two. Temperatures might drop below, you know, freezing. I don't know how, but they might. So if we ever have like Devil Strand here and we don't want it to die, this is actually a good place to have like an indoor greenhouse. Okay. All right, so I am going to plan our base, but I'm not going to bore you with those details. Just one moment. Ta-da! What do you think? I tried going for a medieval kind of village look, so that's where these towers came from. I'm thinking if any raiders come in from this side, these towers can act as a preemptive defense, although the plan is to have the raiders come in around through here and then go into our kill box here. And our kill box is a little weird. I sometimes go for this style if I don't have much room to work with, which if you turn on the terrain affordance, I really don't. So you're not allowed to build heavy structures on this orange. You can build wood, but I'm hoping to make all of this out of stone. So I had to just like go around and see what I could do. So far, I think it's fine. I think this is going to be an okay kill box. So they'll come in through here or through this side. I don't really care. And then through here, and this is just going to either stagger them or push them all together so that we can shoot them from here and they'll all be clumped together. So I think that works. I'm happy with it. We also have 2 gardens here. This is going to be our indoor garden whenever I get to it. Probably not the first year. And then this is going to be our current garden, which I still need to fill in, but I'll do that later. We have our kitchen here that is airlocked to our fridge. Now the fridge in medieval times, hold on, let me fix this or I'm gonna go nuts. The fridge in medieval times, the mod rather, is not actually going to be that cold. You have to make a bunch of ice boxes, and we'll get into it later. I'm still calling it a fridge for now. And then we have our butcher room that is connected to the fridge, but not so connected that you'll get food poisoning. Here's our medical room right by the kill box. It's a little small, but I'm thinking we can expand it if we need to. This is our miscellaneous stockpile room. Just random stuff will go in here. Now these 2 rooms, again, I'm trying for a medieval feel here. And so what I wanted to do was create like a bunch of little buildings here with narrow alleyways, I guess. And this building here is going to be like a blacksmith. And then this building here is going to be like a tailor. So 2 different actual buildings. I'm excited about it instead of just one big crafting room. This room here, this weird one here, this is going to be our library / magic room. So one of these sides is going to have the research bench and some like bookshelves, our manager's desk, that sort of thing. And then the other side is going to have the magical production tables and where we keep all of our scrolls and things like that. I'm thinking of maybe like carpeting them in different colors, purple and gold or something to make it look kind of cool. And then finally we have this room, which is just our dining room. Nothing exciting there, just a nice dining room. That's really all I planned here. I didn't plan their actual sleeping quarters yet. What I was thinking is building a bunch of like little cottages or little houses, maybe townhouses or something. I'm not quite sure yet. In this area, and then having like a town square or a town circle where everyone meets and congregates and has a good time. I know the Lord of the Rims mod in 1.0 had like a fountain. I think it was Lord of the Rims. One medieval mod that I used, it had like an actual fountain that you could put out. I don't know if any of the mods I have right now have a fountain. I can probably look in the research panel, but I'm not going to. But we could put like a fountain here or something and some benches and then have all the houses kind of spread around it. Now I was going to make a castle for my medieval playthroughs. I do like making castles. But it didn't make any sense for our dryads, so no castle today. And then later on, we will be building down through here. I think this can be where we put prisoners for the time being, because it's already built for us pretty much. And then maybe later we can actually start building into the mountain. Now we do have to be very wary of infestations. Because this is a medieval playthrough, we don't have any big guns that we can use against infestations. So it's going to be kind of risky to build into this mountain here, although we are building into this mountain here. So that's not great, but it's not the end of the world. I think we'll be safe, but this is definitely dangerous, so we'll have to be careful. We could also expand into this area because we have like a choke point here, a choke point here, and here. So that would actually be really nice to expand over to the west, but not right now. We don't have to worry about that now. We only have 3 colonists who started with a crossbow and a, what are these? A pila, and a recurve bow. Interesting. Yeah, so that's why I removed the short bows, because in all of my testing, they always started with something random anyway. I don't know why that is, but whatever. I'm not a pro, I guess. And here's our fennec fox. Oh, her name is Pepe. That's adorable. I love you. But it's a chick. All right, that's fine. Yeah, so before I end the episode, because again, I just wanted this first episode to be set up, a little boring, no real playthrough, but before I end it, I do want to do some more actual setup, so like Stockpile Zone for sure, and the stockpile is going to have everything but foods, medicine, drugs, and plant matter. And I think I need to actually say, yeah, ice blocks. Ice blocks are with the Medieval Times mod. We do not want ice blocks in here. And then I'm going to set up our fridge. A little messed up because of this building here, but that's fine. Clear all. We want foods, we want plant matter, and we want medicine and drugs. And ice blocks before I forget. Great. And we need to set up their working priorities. So everyone does these things. Bed rest, hall, basic, refuel, magic. Looks like only Lilica can do magic right now. I'll put her at a 1, even though we're not actually doing much with it right now. Willow, you can warden. Saffron, you are definitely my handler. I will also set you Lilica to backup handle. The cook, I think I wanted Willow to cook, and then Lilica to backup cook. I might, yeah, that works. Okay, so hunting, Saffron is our hunter, She can fish too, that's fine, but she's definitely constructing, and Lilica has a 5 in construction, so I'll put her at a 2 for that. She's definitely our harvester and our grower. Willow can back up. Yeah, you can harvest and grow if you want to at like a 3. You'll have to be our miner. I'll set mine to 1 for her, even though she's not great, but she does have a passion in it, so that's nice. Everyone's going to plant cut. You're all dryads. You can work with plants a little bit. And plant cutting is going to get the wood we need from the trees, which is important because we didn't start with any wood. No drugs for now. No fabrication, no machining. Smithing and tailoring, art, I'll keep at a 3. Refining, I'll keep at a 4 for now. And smelting, I want to keep at a 4. Stone cutting, I want to put at a 2 because that's very important early game. Crafting, I'll put these 2 ladies, Willow and Saffron, at a 2. These can stay at a 3. I might put Hall at a 2. And then for research, I'm going to have both Lilica and Willow at 1 for research. I would like Willow to be our full-time researcher, but she's also going to be cooking. So whenever Willow is off cooking, I think Lilica can sit at the bench for her, and hopefully we can have research going a lot of the time. And then managing, I want everyone to be at 1 for managing. And then I don't think scanning is relevant for us. Okay, what else do we need to do before I end this episode? Maybe set up the garden. Let me do that real quick. And then that might be it. So I'm just setting them up totally random, random sizes, because I don't really care what they look like right now. All I know is I want to make sure I have 5 growing zones available. Whoops. Of course that happened. How do I want to... I guess I'll shrink this, and then I'll make it a little smaller than that. And it doesn't need to be bigger. It can be bigger by 1. All right, and then I'll increase you again. All right. This tiny little grow, I'll make it like look like that, I guess. And then 1 more. It is kind of hard to see. Okay, great. Perfect. So let me look at the fertility. Is this all 1? Let me shrink this by 1 and increase this. Ooh, that's kind of big. Oh well, that's okay. Increase that by 1. That way this is all fertile, and this can all be for our corn. Because corn grows so slowly, it's best to put it into fertile ground here. For our big zone, let's put in cotton. We're gonna need a lot of cotton. This is also pretty big. What do you think we should put in here? How about, we definitely need hay grass. We definitely need heel root. I'll put heel root in there. Let's put in hay grass. I want to put hay grass in a little one. We need hay grass for the medieval times mod. Let's put, so we have our food. Let's put in some hops. Let's make some beer. And then for our last one, some dwarven barley. No, we're dryads. We're not dwarves. Wheat. More like rice or potatoes. Maybe potatoes. That might be a good idea. Okay, so we have potatoes, hops, hay grass, heel root, corn, and cotton. I love it. That's perfect. Okay. What do you guys think? You think I'm good? I can actually like play the game now? I think so. All right, so let's actually play the game next episode. So let me know what you think. If you have ideas for any mods I can add to this magical playthrough, please let me know. In the meantime, I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Bye-bye.